Well, hi, hey, hello everyone. I am here to do the Monster Mash book tag. Why am I doing this in September instead of October? Why? Because I felt like it. Because why should October be the only month to have spooktacular stuff? It shouldn't. And that's why I'm doing this tag. So the tag is of course based upon the song Monster Mash. And here are the questions. I was working in the lab late one night. What is a book that kept you up at night? So this one's hard to answer because I haven't been able to stay up for about going on 6 years now that I've really been working. The last time I was able to do that was when I was jobless, when I was younger. I used to fall asleep reading the Goosebump books in school. So basically anything I would have read in elementary school or, you know, high school or whatever, any of that stuff. Number 2. My eyes beheld an eerie sight. What is the weirdest or creepiest shit you have ever read in a book? There's quite a few. Or actually, at least 3 main ones I can think of. So, The Lovely Bones is that book. It's deep and beautifully written, but also quite disturbing. It is about a 14-year-old girl who, I think she's 14, a teen girl basically who was murdered by her neighbor who has, who was basically a predator, and he has lured and killed other young girls before, and just, that whole aspect of her being killed, of her seeing it tear her family apart and watching this monster basically get away with the shit that he's done. That is just disturbing, the whole thing, but it is a great book. Another one would be a young adult dystopian, I guess you would call it. And I read this one before the big dystopian hype, like before I really noticed it taking off. And that is, did I say the title yet? Oh well. That is Unwind. It's a young adult book by Neil Shusterman, I think, or Schusterman. And so it takes place in a futuristic America where abortion is basically, it's illegal, it's been outlawed, but parents can decide at the age of 13 to have their children unwound, which means that they will take the child and they will distribute basically their organs and everything to other people. And the thought on this is that since their organs and everything are functioning in other people, they are considered to be alive in a divided state, and there comes a point in the book where this happens to one of the characters, that he is being unwound, and you kind of get to, I mean, it's really not as graphic as it could have been, but it's still kind of disturbing to read about a character knowing that he's basically, I guess, kind of being put to sleep in a way like you would for surgery, only except that he's being torn apart, basically, to live in this divided state. And just, it's one of those sad, disturbing ones. And the third one would be in the first book of the Hunger Games trilogy. Now, if you've seen the movie, when they're in the arena towards the end, and I'm sorry if this is a spoiler for anybody, but the movie itself has been out since 2012, I believe. So, at the end of the book, or towards the end, there are 3 people left. There's Katniss, Peeta, and I believe it was Cato. So, they're being chased by these creatures. In the movie, they are digital dogs, like these digital creations that they make, which that's kind of creepy in itself. You know, they're like digital, I don't know, dog monsters or whatever. However, in the book, they are actually mutations made to look like the dead tributes. And she notices hair color, the eyes of a couple of them, one that she was really close to. So not only are these people, these children, made to do what they did and everything, what people watched, now they're taking these mutated things, they're creating these mutations to make them look like the people that they outlived or that they killed. And that was just a mixture of disturbing and cruel and just, I mean, it was like a sad, creepy, you know, to think that somebody could do that to somebody else. And, which it shouldn't be, because people all around the world do disturbing shit to one another. But those three examples there are like some of the most disturbing things, especially in young adult. Although the Lovely Bones kind of flip-flops on if people consider it young adult or adult. Get a jolt from my electrodes. Name a book that completely shocked or surprised you. I would say the book that I just finished, which was called American Born Chinese. The book said that the stories would come together, but I didn't quite expect it to come together that way. Number 4. The guests included Wolfman Dracula and his son. Name your favorite monster or villain from a book. I like the monster in A Monster Calls, Queen Lavanna, President Snow, Voldemort. I don't know, I'm kind of more of a protagonist person versus an antagonist. So, I don't know. I mean, obviously a good villain, you know, keeps the story going, but yeah, I'm more focused on the hero, I suppose. 5. Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist? Name a book that was super hyped when it came out, but no one talks about anymore. See, I don't know. I mean, like, I just brought up books that were out a few years ago, and once in a while they're still talked about. I don't know. It's just, it really depends, because you have tags like this, and then people will bring stuff up again, but I don't think people talk about Twilight the way they used to when it came out. They did the mash. Name your favorite book that is a mashup of 2 or more genres. I don't know. Maybe Coraline and Cinder? I mean, they're both, like, I really wouldn't consider them contemporary, you know, but they are set in the real world, both Coraline and Cinder. One has a girl who goes through, like, this door into a magic world, so I guess that's kind of an urban fantasy, and then Cinder is set in New Beijing, which China and Asia and all that are obviously real places. Beijing is a real place, but it takes place in the future with cyborgs and like port screens and I think hovercrafts and all that kind of stuff. So I guess it's a mix of sci-fi and a little bit of romance and kind of contemporary things, because Cinder deals with issues of family and prejudice and stuff like that. So I'm going to go with those two. It was a graveyard smash. What is your favorite horror novel? I haven't read enough horror to pick one yet, so I'll probably eventually do a video on the genre when I've read a lot more. The scene was rockin', all were digging sounds. What's your favorite song based on a book? I don't know. And once I'm done with this, I'll probably go research and find out that there's probably a few songs that I've liked that probably have taken from books. Books are usually a big inspiration for things. Tell them Boris sent you. What's your go-to book recommendation? Oh my god, a lot of them. I like character-driven books. I like books that make you think. I like books that have parallels to the real world, but still have imagination. Either fantasy, or they make you think about stuff that could happen, or they're just so... Even sometimes if they're over the top, they make you realize how ridiculous we as people can act sometimes. So, and some of them are just, fun or entertaining. But I would definitely say Zombies vs. Unicorns. It's young adult, but they're short stories, and they're fun, they're sad, and, it is young adult. It doesn't always go in depth with stuff, but it's entertaining, and some of the stories are really good in there. There's like 2 of them I don't like, but I'd still read them. So, Zombies vs. Unicorns, The Lovely Bones, The Giver, The Hunger Games, The Fault in Our Stars, A Monster Calls. What else? That's all I can think of right now. There's just so many of them. For you, the living, this match was meant to. Who do you tag? Anyone who watches this and anyone who wants to do it. Anyone who loves the spooky. Anyone who loves books. Bonus question. What is your favorite thing about Halloween? Really? Once you eliminate the Satan on Earth that is candy corn, everything. Scary movies. Dressing up. Being creative. Spookiness. It's... Oh my god, it's fantastic. And it has such an interesting history that's, more fun and more meaningful than what Halloween is now and everything. But, honestly, it's taken from a few cultures. But still, the history, the candy, the spookiness, all the fun. So, that is a tag. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.